This lesson discusses loading code once only. The topics include: why is it important to only include or require a file one time only? How can you make sure a file has been included one time only? Why not use include once or require once all the time? And why is this important for website development? Moving over to the browser, looking at the example, you can see that we have a fatal error. The fatal error is on line 14. Notice the nature of the fatal error: cannot redeclare doc type previously declared in library includes line 5. Moving now to the code, let's have a look and see if we can determine the nature of the problem. So as you can see on line 3, we've included the file library.php by using the require statement. Accidentally, the file was included another time on line 11. It's quite possible that you have a file that includes another file, and inside the include file, that file itself could have a series of include statements and require statements. As your code continues to grow in size, it's quite possible that you might find yourself loading a file more than one time. But as you can see, PHP does not allow a file which contains a function definition to be loaded more than once. The same applies to classes. You cannot load a file with the same class definition more than one time. In order to get around this, we have a variation of the include and require command, which is include once or require once. So if we change this now to once, save the code, move back to the browser, and refresh, you'll notice now everything is working fine. What the once variation does is it checks to see if the file has not already been included. If so, it skips the inclusion of the file. In doing so, it thereby safeguards your program from accidentally including the same file more than once. Now bear in mind that there may be times when you deliberately do want to include the same file more than one time. And an example of that is on line 16 and line 17, where we are deliberately including the same block of code multiple times. The include once or require once variation is important if the file that you're including includes function definitions or class definitions. Another question might arise: why not use include once or require once all of the time? The answer is there's no reason why not. So we'll put it here. We'll put it here as well. Move over to the browser, refresh the screen, and as you can see, the code is not affected. In review, why is it important to only include or require a file one time only? PHP does not allow duplicate definitions of a function or a class. So if you included or required the file twice, PHP would generate a fatal error message. How do you make sure a file has been included one time only? You would use include _once or require _once. When the file goes to be included, PHP will check first to make sure that the file has not already been included. Why not use include _once or require _once all of the time? The answer is there's absolutely no problem using include _once or require _once all of the time. Why is this important for website development? The library of functions or the class definition could potentially have dependencies on other function definitions or class definitions. If that's the case, you could find yourself in a situation where by including one file, that file includes other files which have already previously been included. Accordingly, you should use include once or require once to safeguard your website to prevent accidental inclusion of the same definition twice. This concludes our discussion of loading code once only.